No, I hear things. That's all I'm saying. Is I hear things.
I hear things.
I hear stupid people.
I didn't even like that movie.
Okay, man, I gotta fix this. God damn, there's too many.
There's too many buttons.
There's too much shit open, man. This is like a shit window.
It's a shit window. This
Like,
is just a
you know
big
what this is? It's a fucking shit window. Is
window.
what this is up in here. I don't know, man. I think you're in a real shit window over there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't want to say nothing, but I'm saying.
But,
I'm
however,
not saying nothing, but I'm saying that.
saying.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing, but I'm saying. Oh, my God.
OMG.
We're just wrapping up a few odds and ends. And the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus is coming back whether you like it or not.
Just sit down. It's just sit down and calm down. It's going to happen.
Just
let
you
it
know,
happen.
It's like that rectal exam. Yeah, it's happening.
Yep.
You just have to kind of just relax into it and try not to get an
I was
erection.
putting on rubber gloves today.
Okay.
I was putting on rubber gloves today, and the one kitchen guy's like, "Oh, you're at that age," and I'm like, "No." I said, "What's the worst thing that can happen?" He's like, "Well, you can get prostate cancer and die," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'll die without a man's finger on this."
You can do it. Put your ass into it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it. You can do it. Put your ass.
Oh,
It's fine.
I used to dance to that song.
there's the song.
Unless the doctor,
Lord.
unless my doctor was just really terrible, and I have a suspicion he might be. It doesn't. It's not like it's portrayed like on TV and in movies and stuff at all. It's like nothing.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's not like, you know.
No, it's not the whole fist.
You know.
But when he licks his finger beforehand, that's disturbing.
No.
Did you ever see the movie Blockers
I don't think so.
with John Cena?
No.
It's funny. He does a beer bong in the butt. 'Cause that's what the kids do now.
Beer bong in the butt.
Because it's supposed to get you drunker
Yeah, because
faster.
it's absorbed into your.
That's all right. That's enough.
You're welcome. The more you know.
I just watched that the other day.
Rock and roll
The
circus.
more you know.
The Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Well, he's like, I need some lube. And the one girl goes, I have lip gloss. And then she's like, I don't have lip gloss. So the other guy licks his finger to get it all lubed up. It's basically a movie about these three parents trying to stop their three daughters from having sex on prom night. And it's hysterical.
Huh.
It's really funny.
Fascinating, Captain.
Because they all had a sex pact. I'm like, did I act like this when I was 18?
No.
I don't know that I did. Maybe.
Jesus.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hope that this doesn't go away because I'll have something queued up for you guys.
Okay. Hope it doesn't go away.
Me too.
Oh, boy.
Let's all check our microphones.
All right.
It is 9 p.m.
It is 9 p.m.
on the dot, and I guess from now on it is no longer going to be Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be Eastern Daylight Time, right?
Wow, who knows?
I call it what I want.
That's crazy talk.
So there's that.
So, in other words, we know no falling back
No.
this year.
Are they really?
done.
I've heard about
Have
it.
they
It's done.
said It's official.
It's a done deal.
I'm okay with it.
I don't care.
So, oh my
Just
goodness.
don't care.
I think it's dumb anyway.
It is stupid
Did you?
as hell.
Are you?
It's
Do you?
stupid.
So what you're saying is you're gonna put your hands in the air like you just don't
Basically.
care.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
That's important
Mm-hmm.
that we, you know.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you hate it when like you
Oh boy.
watch a movie or something you can like kind of like recognize every beat? Like, you know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
now they're doing the thing where
Now they're gonna
like
do
it's in
this.
it's like things in like horror movies. Like there's always a scene where they, you know, well nowadays they go online and they look it up. But there was always a scene where they go to the library. and,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's like
Yes,
in like
yes.
that's like in like a million horror films.
Let me check the.
It's a template.
You know,
the
it's
old
like and there's all these like
newspapers.
beats that like they have to hit.
Yep.
You know, that's kind of silly. I saw one like that
and you're like, I know what's gonna happen next. Yep.
Okay, so I see we're doing that. We are both commenting as the okay, this is where they do that thing, and okay, now we have to go over to do that. Oh no, here's the fake jump scare followed by the real jump scare.
Yeah, Scream does that a lot.
You know. Oh. Okay, guys. Who's ready to talk a little bit about some albums and some other stuff? We have
the things.
We have a whole agenda planned for you.
Me.
Me?
I am.
Do we have an interview this week?
No.
Well, that was so much fun last week.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Is it Limas?
Are we doing that again?
We can do Limas. I have a couple of things lined up. I thought you were talking about what Lily.
No. Like you have like something, so we can.
Of course I do.
Okay.
How many songs did Robert Johnson do? Do you remember?
Oh my God. We're like, here we are, Kevin. Like, it's time to turn in your paper. This isn't the time to be finishing.
Miss
Okay?
Lamberto,
No.
I didn't get the last 3 equations done. Can I do them real quick, like now?
In the bathroom?
In the bathroom? Again? Nobody come in, though.
I think it was 12 songs.
29.
29.
29. Thank you.
It was the 30th song they were looking for
because
in the movie.
There is a 30th song Limas will tell us about.
Oh my God.
Boy.
Limas Stuckey.
Yep.
Yeah, is it Limas?
Limas Stuckey.
Limas, not Linus.
No, Limas.
Limas.
Because I actually knew an old.
Right.
Yes.
So
He exists.
Right. That's
he exists.
Ray. Ixnay on the
I know,
conversation.
Right? I'm just saying.
Ixnay on the conversation.
But nobody knew what that meant.
You definitely did that wrong.
Do you put the X or the A after the A?
Yes. I don't know. I never.
Okay.
I can't talk Zoom either.
Remember
that?
Oh boy.
That part of the Zoom. I would always just tune out. I'm like, I don't know what they're saying. They would even explain.
Do you know your ass from your elbow?
That shit. That shinola.
Shit!
Know
Shinola.
the difference.
Know the difference.
There's a T-shirt. This is shit. This is shinola. Know the difference. We're working on some new merchandise. I think that somebody might want to write that down. This is shit.
Yes.
You know the difference. Loudini. Okay. All right, Loudini, get your Loudini on.
Come on, boy.
Time to get your Loudini on.
Hey, yeah.
Okay, we're just making sure we got levels. Everybody can. Nobody's messaging saying we can't hear you guys.
No, nobody said anything.
All
yet.
right, good.
They're probably going like, "Will you guys get to doing something?"
Let's go.
Okay.
Shit or get off the pot. That's what they're saying.
I can't get off the pot. I'm kind of addicted to that.
No shit.
Look at here.
Look at here. Come down here.
Come, I got down there.
Something wrong with
That was a super fun thing that happened in music, by the way. Like whether you like that song or not, like you have to admit that's like kind of, and that whole thing became like a hit. Like
yes,
it's not, you know what I mean? That's
I know
not like
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just him talking, but he brings something to it.
Yo, man.
Which kind of like we're trying to do here, which we're not doing a good job.
No, not really. No.
Okay, Lily, say your something.
Something into the microphone 100 times.
Something in the microphone 100 times. Something on my microphone 100 times.
I hate you. Hate.
What is your microphone situation, Mr. Pittsburgh?
You know what's a really horrible movie is Wayne's World 2. I just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah, they did not catch lightning.
There's only one good part of it, and Lily knows exactly what that is. Yes.
That's why I watch
the only
it.
saving grace of that movie
That's why I'd watch it.
are the boys from Boston. Yes.
That's why I watch it.
Boston is in it.
Yeah, Boston's
Cool.
in it.
No.
Tom Scholes.
The other boys from Boston.
Tom Scholes is driving the limo that brings Aerosmith to the.
Is that it? No.
No. Come on, Lou, I'm being facetious.
You're
Facious.
I'm being
facial
facetious.
feces.
Yes. Ooh.
Chris says he can hear us.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
You heard just as I said facial feces.
Yeah, Chris.
Say that 10
He said it
that. Same crap, different night.
Oh man. Okay. So you guys ready? Check. Hello, microphone. Here goes our microphones.
That was
We have
beautiful.
microphones. Okay. You guys ready to do some podcast here tonight?
Yes,
I'll
I'm
feel
ready.
good.
You all right?
I feel groovy.
There it is.
Oh, let it out. Let's do it.
It's a little baby one.
There was a little.
It was
Ask
a
behind
little
that, though.
wee one, was it?
That's my lasagna.
All right, we've
For
got
dinner.
to do the podcast now.
All right, let's do it.
We've got to commence
Let's do it.
shutting the fuck up.
Shut your whole mouth.
There's a
See, then we just go off on a tangent. 3 hours later, okay,
Let's
we
do
gotta
it.
start. We gotta start.
we have to start.
All right, come on now.
There's an Orbit commercial that I saw on TikTok that's insane. I can tell you guys about it. If we could figure out how to do something like that, it'd be funny. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? In 5, 4, 3. Do you remember hearing your favorite album for the very first time? You know, there's nothing quite like the sort of surprise and delight that you get when you discover a truly great record for the very, very first time. You know, it's like you remember like where you were and what you were doing and, you know, how important it was to you and how sort of blown away by you were by it. And, we're picking some records tonight we're going to talk about on the podcast. 3 from each of us that are exactly that for us, personal favorites. If you're live with us, feel free to chime in the comments. Here we go. Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. I never heard that before.
What's that?
On the end of the beat, there's a pow. It's on
Oh.
every single one of them.
yeah?
I never heard it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, like I wanted to do like in disco, like throw the, you know, finger up in the air. I never really heard that
See?
before.
We wanted to do
You learn
disco
something
hands.
new every day.
Do disco hands, Daddy. Hi, I'm Loudini, your disco hands daddy.
Wow.
Welcome to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We're going to talk about the albums that we wish we could experience again for the very first time. So, you know, this could be totally personal, but you guys, those of you who are hanging live, like chime in. Like we want to kind of know what you think, what some of your favorite ones were, and maybe a line, maybe a sentence about why. So if you have
And
one,
I will read them.
yeah, and we'll check them out a little bit later on. We have a lot planned for today's show. There is, of course, the main topic. We have lyrics with Loudini.
Yeah.
We have new and notable, and we were sitting here BSing before the podcast, and I didn't get Lily's new and notable.
You
so-
did.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that one.
He did the gesture, didn't he?
Okay. All right, I got you.
We have hand signals here.
So we
I
are
didn't even
ready.
have to look.
So and of course this day in music. So we have a lot to do unless we want to have a 6-hour podcast, which I'm not completely opposed to. I mean,
Not out of the question.
you get that free flow, you know, of things going on. You know,
Yes.
there's some things that happen too. There's a great movie on Netflix that you need to know about. We need to talk about Bon Jovi's latest concert video that came out that's got everybody talking all over the internet.
Wow. It's how good it is. Yeah, great.
No, we'll get to it. It's all going to be good.
Okay.
So
So
just stay tuned.
So hang out, guys. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com is our website, LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com or LouLombardiMusic.com. That gets you access to being in the live group with us, where you can hang out and we can interact with you and have a good time. We go live every Monday night, 9 p.m. And we haven't figured out yet if it's going to be called Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Time yet, but on the east side of the country.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, something like
Sure,
that. Yeah,
you know.
Go east, young man. Oh yeah, rockrageradio.com is the app that you need. You go to rockrageradio.com, you download the app, and you can hear great music content 24/7. A lot of really cool interview programs and a lot of great music. Lily V6 has a show on there as well.
I do have a show. It's Hot Licks with Lily 6 on Thursdays, and this week I'm having Udo Dirkschneider on from Accept. So tune in so you can hear his about his new album coming out this weekend.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, how much does Rock Rage cost?
It's free.
Free! We're slashing prices!
Oh boy.
No, we're not
not
slashing
slashing
that
the
price.
No.
So close.
Yeah, let's go back and fix that.
Yeah.
Because that could have ended up sounding something like this. Which doesn't make it. Oh, it's no, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh.
It could have ended up sounding something like this.
That's what she said.
There we are, something like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah. So like I can like get myself. I mean, you know what? Just take it off the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
I'm not gonna use it.
A boy
And-
and his toys.
Lily thought it might be a funny idea to use like Nazi sound effects.
She didn't think
and I
that
told her that
at
was a
all.
bad idea, but she made me
Lily.
find them on the internet.
I
Why?
made him.
She had a gun to his head.
So
That's not my way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like what we've been going through, brother. Right? Since Adam.
Nazi sound effects since
Not-
Adam?
since
Wow.
I really don't know what's going on right now.
Adam, did you eat
Seems
from the
about
tree?
And no, what happened was it was just his woman.
Oh.
She shows up with some shit. He says, "Eat this." Before you know it, he's in all kind of trouble.
He didn't know. He was
No,
hungry.
just stand there. He was hungry.
Poor Adam.
Oh my god. I guess Adam's that fucking dumb.
So no. And anyways, we're just having a little fun at the expense.
Just
of,
a little.
It's at the expense of Adam and Eve and all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is our probably last show now.
Yep.
We're just having a good time. Anyways, it's a joke. Don't be so about it. Simmer down now. And we
I'm
also
waiting
want
for
to
that one.
mention, of course, Wolf's Customs. You want to go to Wolf's Customs and get yourself one of those custom paint jobs done on your musical instrument. wolfscustoms.online. And you can find them all over social media. Chris Thunderwolf Dotson is the man, and he will hook you up with an amazingly cool refinish on your musical instrument. I'm not making sexual innuendo,
I was
Mr.
totally going
Mr.
there.
Kevin there.
Why? What's going on?
I meant a musical instrument. He's over there making eyes like he's 7 years old.
Finish my instrument.
Yeah, so he's gonna refinish my instrument. I've been refinishing my instrument all day long.
Hollow Flash the Skin.
Yeah,
Flat. It's supposed to be so
welcome.
hot.
but it's made that he refinishes your guitars with love, but not that kind of love. So you want to go to Wolf's Customs and check out the amazing work that they do. So all right, guys. I guess we should kind of maybe go around real quick and say what we did this weekend. Because we were together at one point.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Good Friday.
Yeah.
Spent it in a good way.
Yeah, and it was spent. And I thought it was personally a good Friday.
It was.
I had a good
It was
time.
Very good Friday.
And we were hanging out here and just listening to music and talking and joking around and having some drinks.
And we were very loud.
We were cranking up pretty.
Yeah.
You're gonna say, oh, what happened? The police showed up. The police did not show up. The fire department showed up. The fire department. So what do you think when the fire department shows up, Lily?
I panicked. That's what I
You
did.
think
Yeah.
what, Mr. Pittsburgh? Something is on fire.
Yes.
You think something's on fire. It's like a natural conclusion. So that's oh my God, like there's smoke coming out of my roof and I don't know about it.
Yeah.
Here we are out on the porch,
The house is on
pretty much
fire.
it.
We're
Yeah.
dancing.
It's like, fiddling while Rome burns or whatever.
Yeah.
Or while George burns.
Ah, ha, ha.
There was something on fire, right, Beth? Enough said.
If you're
All right.
listening.
Yeah.
Yes, so
Hopefully she's listening.
this fire truck pulls up out of nowhere. No, it wasn't blowing any sirens or
Right, no
anything.
emergency lights,
but
but all of a
all the
sudden-
it was lit
The
up,
thing
dude.
lit up
It
like a
looked cool.
Christmas tree. We're
I
like,
mean, there's a photo of me with this, and the lighting is like beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it has this like really cool lighting to
blue
it. Anyway,
and
yeah, blues
whites
and yeah,
reds and
it was really neat. And they pulled up, and these two fire dudes jump out, and they come running up the stairs right onto my deck. And they say, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. I'm like, what's going on? Like, and I thought maybe someone's gonna put handcuffs
Right,
on
they're like,
me.
who's the homeowner here?
Yeah,
like,
they
real
asked, that's
stern.
right. They asked if I was
Yes.
the homeowner.
was
That's
like, oh, yeah.
that's why they picked me, because
Right.
they asked if I was the homeowner. I couldn't
Yes.
remember now.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that
Yes.
back to me. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. No, I was not doing cocaine. I'm joking. But so I was like, kind of, what is going on? So they were putting the fireman's jacket on me. And then
And we're all standing there.
There were some photos taken, and I was like, and what did I say, Mr.
So, yeah,
what did
yeah,
I say,
so-
Mr. Pittsburgh? What was my quote?
So, Lou was a little,
Dumbstruck.
yeah, dumbstruck.
And very inebriated.
is what I
Yes.
wanted to say. And he turns to me in all seriousness, and he looks me right in the eye, and he goes, "Is this really happening?"
Just like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, "Yes, you're not hallucinating. This is really happening."
It was so crazy
That was very cool.
I had been consuming cleaning fluids since
Cleaning
about
fluids.
3:30
Yeah.
that afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
And they gave
Moonsh-
us some swag.
Oh yeah.
and we ended up
Lunchbox,
we got some
a
swag.
lunch bag there and
Chip
chip
clip.
clip.
And
They,
we had a
however,
good
I
time.
was very sad when they took that jacket back.
I thought they were giving me a
I
free
know, that
jacket.
would have been
I thought maybe I
awesome.
won something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right?
When they put the jacket on me, I'm like, like, you know, like maybe a bunch of people are going to pop out. Lou Lombardi, this is your life. And you guys are all going to be, we're in on it.
I know, that was hysterical.
You know, and Guns N' Roses comes out and plays.
And Lou would turn around, look at me, and go,
Is this really
"Is this
happening?
really happening?"
It really happened. We have photos to prove it.
Yeah, so it was crazy, guys.
That was fun.
I apologize. I got a little frog, so I'm going to work through it. You know, I'm going to try not to hork directly into the
Don't
microphone.
hork.
But I'm having such a good time, you never know what can
That's
happen.
true. That's
What's
true.
a little hork among friends?
That's
Oh,
true.
boy. So that was our Friday.
Yeah, right?
It was super fun. Stayed up way too late, drank way too much alcohol.
gosh, yeah.
We were just making we ran out of beer and White Claw. And so then we were like making up drinks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Get some vodka. What do you got there? Just pour that in that. That's
I
right
brought a
here.
Red Bull
yeah,
over.
yeah,
It was a good
there
time.
I like this blue drink. Lou's like, "That's the Windex." I'm like, "Oh,
I
It'll
told
work.
you.
It'll work.
I told
good.
you. Cleaning fluids.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was that was the highlight. I think probably that might be the highlight of my weekend. Probably it was fun. What about you guys? What did you do?
Well, Saturday, I actually emceed a show at Ken Drew's Lounge for the RFL Artist Showcase. So it was after the fall. Westlake and Jeff Carlson Band. It was a great show. They did some giveaways. I got to sign some stuff, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
But I had a great time with everybody. Sissy was there selling Metal Heathen jewelry. It was just a good time. A lot of good people. And that was my Saturday. And Sunday, I did nothing
Atta girl.
because of Friday and Saturday.
Yes. Okay. And you, Mr. Pittsburgh,
I
anything?
just worked.
Just
I
worked.
worked. You know me. I'm a working fool. Call me a working man. I just,
So we're gonna go ahead then and get into
let's get into it.
these records that we would just love to hear again for the first time.
Yeah.
Feels like I was going to call this podcast "Feels Like the First Time,"
Well, that would have been good.
You should have done that.
All right, let's start again.
and then but what I did, I labeled it in the file as "Virgin Ears."
Oh,
Oh, there's a band name.
there it is.
Write that one down.
Virgin Ears. No, that's
That's
Golden Years.
Golden years. Yeah. Good try.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Golden Showers.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
I love your
Sir.
sinister laugh.
I know.
It's a Monday night, and anything could happen.
And
So
usually
you have
does.
to
Usually
So let's go ahead and we're gonna mix it up a little bit tonight. Since Mr. Pittsburgh he actually brought a little
Yeah, because I'm a
something.
little slow. I'm a little slow, so I
let-
have to bring visual aids for myself.
Got a musical snack.
Yeah.
Your
yeah,
favorite
My favorite. All right.
AIDS, the AIDS diet plan. Nice. I brought the AIDS with me. He has the AIDS.
Send help.
Corona's like, we understand. We feel your pain.
What do you got?
All right, so my first pick is Fleetwood Mac, Rumors.
What?
Yeah.
Good pick.
No way.
Yes, way, Ted. Huh?
Want to show it to the
Sure,
audience?
it's well beat up because I listen to it all the time. But it's one of those albums where I remember getting it on cassette. See, kids, back in the day, I got it on cassette and just let the cassette play. And like every song, I'm like, gee. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I literally wore that cassette out. So, here, let me tell you something here. Here's a funny little story for you.
Oh.
So I was I used to read as a kid, and I'm reading Amityville.
When did you
Horror.
stop reading?
As an
when I hit
adult.
high school. High school, I just stopped it altogether. I gave it up for Lent, and
Never went back.
But I'm like, the room is. I have a little lamp by my bed, and the room is dark. It's nighttime.
little
And
lamp.
Gold Dust Woman is on, and at the end where there's the moaning, I didn't realize it because I hadn't heard the song yet, and I'm reading Amityville Horror, and I'm like, and I realized, it's a song. So there you go. That's my fun little story about
That's
it.
cute. I like that.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
You like that?
I don't bring a tear to my eye.
You're getting all misty-eyed on me.
I'm feeling kind of tonight, if you know what I mean. A little drippy.
Squirt a tear for me.
Just call me Squeaky Squirty.
Squeaky squirty. It's our new bobblehead.
I know. We have Bones Magoo. We have Honky the Clown.
No, he can stay in the closet.
Well, I don't know.
He can.
I don't know. He likes to squeeze that horn.
No,
Okay. Just
Here's what
saying.
Lily is saying.
I swear.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
I can't even stand you.
Is your no-no square. Wow. That's...
Take it away.
Yes. Yes. Beware the no-no square.
I was just waiting for a chance to use that.
That's beautiful, Lou. Thank you for
I knew.
sharing.
I was like,
Thanks for
when I
sharing.
thought it up last night in bed,
I
I
bet.
was my first reaction was like, Lily is gonna just, and you did not disappoint.
Thank goodness for that.
Wow.
Get it away.
Stop! Don't touch me.
I'd rather have the
This is-
clown.
Send in the clowns. Okay, here's
doors opening.
there's Honky.
Honky the clown.
Honky's a little half-assed tonight. He just one honk.
Because I smacked him. I smucked him in the
You
face.
smucked him in the face, did you?
Schmucked him.
I
Oh,
did.
jeez.
I'm gonna go schmuckling. Sometimes, girl, you gotta give a good schmuckling.
Oh,
Isn't that
boy.
with Sean Connery?
Sometimes a woman.
You gotta give a good schmuckling.
I hate you guys.
What a schmuckaroon. A Scottish schmuckaroon. That is not impersonation, by the way. That is Sean Connery
Yeah,
recorded.
channeling.
We have him recorded.
I thought you were channeling.
Channeling.
Beyond.
Oh my God. So that's your final
That's
answer.
That's my
No,
final. That's my first and final answer.
that's
not
a
my
good
final
one.
answer.
That is
but-
a great record. What can we
Yeah.
say about that record? It's classic.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go next. We're gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go.
Oh, look
fine.
at this though.
Gonna move it around a little wee
The
bit.
first shall be last, and the last shall be.
But you know what? I am in the. I'm in the last part of the greatest story ever told. Woke up in the
What's
middle of the
that?
night and I started, and it was like halfway through. It's that Jesus
I
movie
know
from
it is. I'm just,
1960.
like, trying to think of some funny thing.
I know. Max, it's got all star
Frosty the
cast.
Snowman, right?
I'm
That's
so
a
not
great
drunk enough for
story.
this.
There's no Honky the Clown though.
No.
So, my, wow. You know what? Oh, we should just give up now.
No. There's
I think
more.
we should just
Come
stop.
on, nope.
There's going to be no podcast.
Muddle through.
Okay. Outlandos D'Amore by the Police. This
Oh,
was their
yes.
debut album. Was released in 1978. Elevated by the success of the lead single Roxanne, Outlandos D'Amore peaked at number 6 on the UK album charts, 23 on the Billboard 200. The album spawned 2 additional hit singles, Can't Stand Losing You and So Lonely. Although Outlandos D'Amore received mixed reviews upon its release, it has since been regarded as one of the strongest debut albums. Rolling Stone ranked it as 38th and best debut album of all time. It was a 428 greatest albums of all time. Some shit on Rolling Stone. So this is, and just, they were, just, they had no money. The band, the drummer's brother was the manager. And he got together about 1,500 pounds. And so they went and bought studio time. And it took them 6 months to record because they were just kind of going in like they got a great deal. Like, so it was like when the studio was downtime, that's when they would go and that's when they would book the time. So like studio might be getting 65 pounds an hour, but because they didn't have anything scheduled, then they might offer to him for like 35.
Right.
So young bands is a smart way to do things, trying to get off the ground. But Miles Copeland promised to pay the studio 2,000 pounds upon completion of the record, but did not give them the full amount until much later. So, okay. This because what we want, I don't want to do like a whole albums thing, and this is supposed to be our personal feelings about it, our personal experiences. Okay, so first of all, let me break this down to like a little system. Here's how I put them. I did them was production, lyrics, vocals, and performance. Overall performance. So the first thing, and this isn't the first thing about this record, but this is the first thing I just wrote down. So no particular order. In other words, the sound and production. This is another album on my list. Is about 8 years older than this, and what I noticed is both of these albums have that softer 70s kind of production. If you go forward to you start getting into the mid 80s, everything has this really like like the drums are real sharp and everything's real bright and it's like real punchy, whereas a lot of stuff in the 70s has this kind of warm, it was just a thing. And this has that sound, even though they are obviously a new wave band. Punk rock, new wave band. So it was kind of an interesting kind of thing. I remember getting this record and hearing the production and being like really, really wowed by it. Didn't sound like earlier stuff from the 70s, but it also didn't sound like anything like super current. Because I got this record way after the Police were a big thing. I didn't hear it when it came out. I should clarify that. These records are, with the exception of, a couple of on my list are came out way before, they had been out for a while. In other words, so I heard this record after, but the Police were just like a pop band on the radio, and I ended up getting this record because it was recommended to me by a friend of mine, and I was just really floored by everything about it, the sound and production. Andy Summers plays with distortion. It's a really his aggressive rock type sound on this. Sting's voice blew my mind. It really kicks ass. He's really on the edge. He's really belting like a real rock and roll singer. And they haven't done this since. The follow-up records were all got way more, produced sounding and calmed down a little bit with the edginess, but you may not know, just from listening to the songs on the radio, you may not pick this up. When you buy the record and you listen to the whole record, you start to realize immediately that this is not like your typical British new wave band at all, not even for a second. These guys are schooled musicians. You can absolutely tell. Oh yeah. And there's places where they break down and there's little jazz things that I'm like, what? I just really couldn't. And all the songs, even the ones that I didn't hear, I never heard before because they weren't on the radio at the time, are great. Have these great big huge catchy choruses that you find yourself singing along with. They're all kind of like little anthems. It's just like a masterpiece. And I just became immediately enamored with it. And then the Police became one of my favorite bands instantly. And I bought all their other records after that. I absolutely loved them. Loved a lot of Sting's solo stuff. Sting's first solo album was another record I toyed with having on this list too because of some other stuff. But and Sting's lyrics. So I'm debating about two things of what I'm going to do with lyrics with Loudini tonight. So I may do a Sting thing, so I'm not going to read any of them right now because I may choose to do that later. But lyrics, vocal performance, just the band overall, they're hot, they're on fire. Andy Summers like rips some like real like rock and roll kind of playing on there, with yet this like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, I'm a rock player, and I'm a jazz player. Very cool stuff. So if you have not listened to Outlandish D'Amour in a long time, or if you never have listened to this in a long time, you want to go back and check it out. And after Lily goes, I want to kind of circle back to something that I think we should let the audience in on.
Okay.
So go ahead and do good. So Lily's next. Go ahead, Lily.
My choices are a little newer, it seems. Not new, but newer. So my first pick is 9 Lives by Aerosmith from 1997.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's not for everybody. If you like Aerosmith, you probably like older Aerosmith, and that's fine. For people who don't know, this is actually my favorite band. Not Motley Crue, like everyone thinks. This is their 12th studio album, peaked at #1 on the Billboard, sold over 2 million copies, won a Grammy for Pink.
2 million copies.
The original cover art was of a Indian god who had breasts and a cat head, and that was
Lord
very
Jesus.
offensive.
Yeah.
They had to change it because it did offend some Eastern Indian people. So they did have to change it. I do have both copies. Actually, apparently I have 4 copies of that as well as Permanent Vacation. The reason I love this so much, so Aerosmith's very experimental. They will try different things quite often, and this one's very Indian inspired after Steven Tyler went to India and had some sort of religious experience. I have no idea. My mom bought me the CD because I was going through a very horrible breakup. It was my very first breakup. So child stuff, right? But, devastation. I can listen to literally every song, and I can relate to almost every song on it. Falling in Love, Hole in My Soul, Something's Gotta Give, Ain't That a Bitch, Kiss Your Past Goodbye. It was very relative to the time of my breakup, and I do love every song on it. I could listen to this one the whole way through. Like I said, it's not for everyone. Some people don't like half the songs on there, but I think you should give it a listen. I think it's a really great album by them.
I have. There's. First of all, we're just picking 3 of ours.
Yeah.
So, but there's several that I toyed with having. They're breakup albums.
Yeah.
That's like not.
That's the one.
I mean, that's one of the things I think that if you've ever seen the movie High Fidelity.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like a thing with music. What I want to talk about real quick before we kind of come back and do our next round is that like there's some of you that maybe have never listened to an album. You've grown up listening to music digitally. So you listen to the single, that single. Even if somebody says to you, "Oh, you should check out this band Led Zeppelin," you probably go to Spotify and listen to the top 5 picks of it, or the songs that your friend said, or whatever. Now, some of you probably might have parents with record collections, so you do know. But we have to account for the fact that there is people out there that have never listened to an album and don't even understand what this experience is like. So I will just say this. Think of your favorite movie or one of your favorite movies. Do you remember going to see it? Maybe your mom and dad taking you and your friends or something like that, and you had this like great experience, and that movie became a beloved movie for you. It's like, for me, like Star Wars. We all have that. This is the same kind of thing except with music. If you don't, I'm not going to give you a whole history of the album and everything like that. Maybe we'll do a podcast on it at some point. Go back and check that out. But, an album is like a statement. It's, these bands put this music together and they try to get the songs to kind of all seem to jibe together. There's all kind of stories about great songs that didn't make out just because they didn't quite fit, what the record was supposed to be about, etc. And you would put the record on and you would just listen to a record. That's all you did. No, you didn't watch the video on YouTube.
Nope,
you just listened to the record. It was a really, and it takes a long time to listen to a record. It is kind of like a commitment, almost like going to see a movie, right? You don't listen to a record in 3 minutes. There are double albums, triple albums,
right?
So it was a commitment. It was a time commitment, and it required you to just listen.
Legit.
Exactly.
And was the thing. You had this audio experience that kind of took you on a journey, or made you think, or made you want to get up and boogie, or smoke
stop
pot,
crying
made you
over
stop
a man
crying,
or
made
a
you stop,
girl.
or
Maybe start
crying.
Yeah, let that
make
feeling
you very melancholy. We just ride this wave of the album. And that is what is so important about the album. And it's an experience that, I'm hopeful some of you might, some of the younger kids out there might go out and say, I want to have that experience and sit down and just listen to some albums. Incidentally, and I did not say this on mine, I remember buying Outlandish D'Amour. Well, I remember where I bought it. I bought it at Val's record shop here in Canonsburg.
Nice.
Bought several records there, and remember, getting it home and getting it out of the vinyl, and remember the lighting in my bedroom and everything, putting that thing on and just sitting there. I had a day bed in my room because I wanted more room for my guitar stuff, and my friends or whatever. So I was just sitting there, and I remember just listening, just listening. Maybe pacing around the room a little bit, looking at the album cover, and wondering what these guys were all about. They looked like degenerates on the cover.
There was a cat with boobs on the cover of mine. So there's that.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So it was and when I could hear the playing, I could tell how sophisticated it was. And I'm looking at these guys and we're like, these guys played that. Okay,
right,
if you say so. Anyway, so so just keep that in mind. It was a special experience, and we're just trying to relive that with you guys. So it is Pittsburgh Kevin's turn again.
Yes, it is.
We do have one someone mentioned. If we'd like
Sure,
to do that
jump
real
in.
quick.
Yeah.
So it's Chris Thunderwolf, Tesla Mechanical Resonance. A friend got the whole album on cassette somehow before it was released. So that is one he wants to hear over again
I got to tell you,
for the first time.
Chris, that is my favorite Tesla album. And I'm trying to remember when I first heard it, but I believe I got it on cassette as well, thanks to my friend Sam Gabud, who I was in a band with. He was a great drummer. And we were in a band called Slick Sammy, and we had to learn the song Modern Day Cowboy.
Yeah. There you go.
And so my memory of that album is having to learn that song. I'm Pittsburgh Kevin.
Oh, it's me.
Sorry, we were commenting on Chris Thunderwolf's.
Oh, no, that's fine. Because you know what?
Why, Chris?
I like Chris. Anyway. God bless you, my son.
Stop.
Your son.
I don't know. That's, because
Bill Damiano knows Sam.
Yes.
That's what he
there
said.
you go.
It's like one big happy family.
It's a small world after all. Who you call small?
Read your next one
All right,
so
here
like
we
we
go.
could get it over with.
So when did you decide to become a midget?
Shortly after I was born.
Woo! Thank you, Will Smith. Sometimes Will Smith has to come in and lay down a little discipline into Loudini Rock Roll Circus. Check. So go ahead.
Will Smith. All right. My next one is Rush Moving Pictures.
Dude, it's such an awesome album, man. I'm like, that is just.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Right.
excuse me.
No, it's an awesome album. I did that for Lily because I know she's not a Rush fan.
I still respect the band.
There
I
you
just
go.
don't like their music.
Sure. But I got the album after hearing Tom Sawyer on the radio, and I had heard Rush before. But I'm like, I gotta eat this album, and it starts off with Tom Sawyer, and it's like, and it just blows your mind. But then you let the album go, and you've got Red Barchetta, which I remember. I can't remember the name of the short story that's based on, but I remember reading
Little Red Corvette.
It was Little Red Corvette, correct?
I think that's wrong.
Somebody should do a mashup: Red Barchetta and Little Red Corvette.
Oh boy.
Bill Damiano,
There you
make
go.
that happen.
There you
Thank you.
go. There you go.
He's listening.
Something about in the countryside with my uncle or something. I think was the name of the anyway. But anyway, I remember reading it as a kid, and as soon as I heard the song, I knew exactly what it was about. There we go into YYZ, which is, when you're a kid, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
And then Limelight, of course. But
And,
then,
yeah, Limelight and side one.
right, and then I immediately wanted to flip it over to side two, and those are songs I had not heard before on the radio or anything like that, and just completely mesmerized. I'm like, wow. So yeah, that is my second pick, is Moving Pictures. And you talk about the album covers and stuff, like all of their album covers. What the hell does that mean? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Well, it's
There's moving pictures, but where are they
show.
moving them? Why are they moving them?
There's so
Who's
many
this little-
questions.
Who's this little kid here? Why are these guys wearing red? That's the kind of stuff that,
You
like,
should call
nothing-
Getty and ask him.
Keeps you up at night.
I am going to call Getty later tonight.
Okay, good. And let us all
Yeah.
know.
That's definitely
I'll
would
keep
be
that.
one of on my list, of course. Dude, I believe here's how I heard that album.
Yes.
I believe you loaned me the cassette.
I probably did. Because
I believe that's what you did.
I was
believe
spreading the gospel.
you did,
of the
and I
Holy
and I-
Trinity.
and you were very, yeah. It was nice of you, you
You're
know,
welcome.
and I think I did what everybody did. I taped it.
Made a copy of
Yeah.
it.
What year did that come out?
Was it 80?
1980.
Oh, good. I wasn't born yet.
Oh, come on, really?
Yeah, that's a definitely a great.
Yeah, it's really very cool.
That's a real piece of fucking work.
Right then.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's all too beautiful.
Sure is.
Oh God.
Here. Oh, that's all right. I have 5 copies of it.
I want to buy 5 copies for my sister.
Well, I know 5 out of 7 of
I was
those.
going to say, and it's only 7 songs.
5 out of 7 ain't bad.
So awesome. They didn't need to do 10 or 12.
27.
27.
Okay, so this album was released in October of 1969. So I said
Wow.
1970. I was off. This is Led Zeppelin 2. Now, again, let me say this. I don't think I said it well. I was not, I didn't hear it when it was new.
You were sitting there listening
I
to
got this in probably 1982 or something like that.
I might have been born.
I got it at the same place. I got it at Val's record thing up there. I was on a mission to buy the Led Zeppelin records, and this was they did not have Led Zeppelin. I wanted to buy them in order. They did not have
Right.
Led Zeppelin 1, so I bought Led Zeppelin 2. I was like, okay,
Oh.
Led Zeppelin 2.
Second best.
And
I can get.
I lost my mind.
Did you?
I lost my mind with this record. I was a young guitar player. I was just learning to play. I had a Les Paul copy. It was a gold top. It was very cool. And I remember just being floored by every little inch speck microbe of this record. The sound. I don't understand. One of the things I'm really bad at is like I don't understand reverb and delay. Okay? The amplifiers that I plugged into when I was growing up, they had reverb, there was a knob that said reverb, and
Right.
you just turned it up for more reverb.
Yeah.
Well, now you get a reverb pedal and there's like 17 knobs. All I want is just more reverb, just like I used to have.
Oh, reverb, please.
And so I buy those things and I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And then the same way with digital delay. I remember digital delay means echo, or not digital delay or digital delay. It isn't always digital, but it just means echo. I didn't know that at first. I would read about it in magazines and be like, delay. Like they want the songs to be like behind, off
Right.
tempo.
You play a note and then a couple seconds later it hits. Yeah.
No. It's echo. That's just all that means. It gives you an echo. And it's the same way. Like I just the stuff's too complicated. I can never figure. So I don't use any of that shit unless it's on the amp for reverb, and I'll turn it
Yep.
on.
And turn it
So, but I remember hearing that and just being completely fascinated, blown away. This was still at that time when there was hard panning with instruments. So like the Beatles did this a lot, where they would put like all of one sound like in one side, one
Yeah,
speaker.
yeah.
So there's a little bit of that in places, and there's a lot of like going back and forth on like panning back and forth.
Right.
Exactly. So this had. So I'm gonna tell you the songs that are on this record.
Okay.
Whole Lot of Love.
Sure.
Well, I mean, that's a duh, exactly. That thing in the middle with John Bonham and all that, I have no idea what that was. That was that, and so there were what was interesting about this record, there were songs I had heard on WDVE, and there were songs that I had never heard on WDVE. Okay. And so Whole Lot of Love, of course. Heartbreaker, Livin' Lovin' Maid, Ramble On. I had was pretty familiar with. Now, the other ones I may have heard but didn't pick up on. Like What Is and What Should Never Be. What a great title for a song. I remember like reading that title and going like, wow, these guys are deep.
Blew your mind right through your face.
Yeah. I was, and like speaking of like crazy echo and stuff panning back and forth. I mean, it's 4 minutes and 46 seconds of just yummy. This is amazing. Speaking of yummy, the next song.
Gonna say that.
It's the next song. I definitely never heard on the radio because it's called the Lemon Song.
No, that's not on the radio.
And the lyrics are "Squeeze my lemon till the juice runs down my leg," and I was like, "What? They didn't just say that."
Wait a second.
I remember listening. I remember standing there over the record player, watching it spin and looking at that track, thinking I should pick the needle up and start this over again because I don't think I heard what I actually heard. But I was too into what I was doing, and it sounded so good. And that riff is bum 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 bum. How'd
that go?
Funky as shit.
That was pretty good.
I like that.
And I was just like, I'll come back to it. I own it. I can listen to it again.
Yeah.
6 minutes and 20 seconds, dude, of like a massive jam. It's their take on an old blues song is really what it is. And then the album rounds, there's only 4 songs on the first side. It ends with Thank You, which is a love ballad. And I had heard this song. I learned it on guitar, like acoustically. I played it for somebody's wedding. I didn't sing. I just played it and my girlfriend sang. And so anyways, so that was, so I knew that. So the album, you flip the album over. This is the cool thing about albums. You get like a little intermission. And you can go to the bathroom or, go down and get some Kool-Aid or juice or,
Vodka.
I was about
Not relevant.
Yeah, I wasn't way too young for vodka. And then the second side starts with Heartbreaker.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
That riff is like so massive. I mean, that is like up there with some of Tony Iommi's heaviest riffs. I mean, that's a great riff. And then which is sort of done as a medley with Livin' Lovin' Maid. There's a brief, like a half a second between the two songs. Very interesting. That absolutely fucking fascinated me. These are 2 separate songs, but they're like together. I was like, what is that? I'd never had a record where there was a song like that.
What's even happening?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And Livin' Lovin' Maid, back together. Ramble On, which is the, song with all the real mystical J.R. Tolkien, stuff. And then there's an instrumental that features drum solo by John Bonham called Moby Dick, that's a great riff, by the way. Yep. I always kind of wish they would have written lyrics to that and had made like a song, but in any case. And then it ends with Bring It On Home, which is a Willie Dixon rework, and that has a killer riff too that Billy Squier borrowed for something of his many years later. It's a great album. Check it out. But loved it, and I bought it at the same record place the one before, and it was the same kind of experience, just being in my room, just like jaw on floor, like wow. So classic, and like I said, some of these songs were like a lot of people already knew, but I didn't know they were new to me. So it was it was very cool. So what do you got, Lily?
I have next on my list, Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette.
And you know what?
There you go.
I remember the first time I listened to that record too. Yeah.
It's her 3rd studio album. This is the one that went released worldwide. Her other 2 were very pop oriented. This one's got a little alternative kind of rock behind it. Post grunge, pop rock, the whole thing. It topped the charts in 13 countries, sales of over 33 million copies. I first heard it from a friend. She's like,
Heard it from a friend.
I know. My friend Melissa Kazina, she was my best friend in elementary school. She's like, you need to hear this album. I'm like, this is not like anything I'm listening to right now. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I'm going to tell you what, at 13, I was an angsty teenager, and this was perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to hear at the time. Oh my gosh, All I Really Want You Ought to Know, Right Through You, Head Over Feet, Ironic, Hand in My Pocket. They were very angsty woman songs, so it was perfect for, you know, a teenager such as myself, or any female of that age getting aggression out, which I thought was so genius at the time that I was 13 years old, and I just thought it was great. I was the first one of my local, she was in Ohio, I was the first one of my local friends to have the album.
Wow.
Because then I got to spread it around, all the angst. At
All
13.
the angst. It's your fault.
It is my fault. Oh, it was made into a musical, by the way. Did you know that on Broadway?
Yeah, I heard
And was
that.
nominated for 15 Tony Awards.
Wow.
So I wish I could see it, but it got postponed because of, COVID. So there's that.
COVID.
Right?
Get down, COVID, getting up in my butt again. God damn it, I'm not gonna take this shit.
But that's definitely still one I can still listen to this day. All the way through.
Good pick. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Your question.
Go ahead.
Which version of You Ought to Know do you like?
The naughty
There's
one.
two versions of it on that album.
Do you mean the naughty one? Or
Naughty
the
one.
regular
No,
or
no,
the
no.
acoustic one?
No, there's two versions on the album. There's
Oh,
at the
okay.
end
No,
of the
the-
album, they replay
Yes,
it.
there's a
with
hidden track.
It's a different
Yeah.
version.
Oh, I
completely
didn't know
different
that.
I
version.
like the original one, but I also do like that she redid the whole thing in acoustic, so I like that one too. Not the hidden track. I don't really like
I
it.
love the hidden track. I was like, I remember listening to that album being wowed. I sat there. I remember where I was watching it, listening to it, and then it finishes, and then You Ought to Know starts again. And I
Yeah.
thought the CD had started over again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, this is different. I
No,
was like,
it's-
damn,
yeah.
this is cool. I was like, loved it. Loved it. What do you got next, Mr. Pittsburgh?
All right, so here's the story behind this. I was in the Army stationed in the South Pacific.
Were you in the Lord's Army,
Yes.
son?
Yes,
I was in the Lord's
I used
Army
to-
at the time.
I used to go hunting for unbelievers. Anyway, so I'm walking down the halls of my barracks, and I hear this music playing. Somebody's cranking this music up. And you got to remember, this is back in the day where we didn't have the internet, blah, blah, blah. And I was on an isolated island, so I didn't have a whole lot of, I wasn't listening to the radio and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's Eddie. That tone, that style, that's Eddie, but that's not Dave. So I knocked on the guy's door, and I'm like, what are you listening to? He goes, Van Halen. I'm like, no.
I don't think so.
No. He goes, no, it's a new Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. I'm like, what? And I lost my freaking mind. So we would have guys go into Honolulu, because this is in Hawaii, on passes. And I found somebody who was going that week, and I'm like, get me this album. And I gave him the money. He came back, and he had the cassette for me. And it is
5150. Here it is.
But yeah, that like totally blew my mind, because I like Sammy Hagar, love Eddie Van Halen, and the two of them together.
Thank you, Vanna.
I tried.
Lily was modeling the album
that
like
was
it
very
was,
nice. Yeah.
It was like on a game show.
But it's another one. Like I don't absolutely love every single song. There's some that I'm like, yeah, but man, oh man, when you look at it, like Good Enough, Why Can't This Be Love, Summer Nights, Best of Both Worlds, and of course 5150. I love 5150, the song itself.
Good song.
Yeah. And every time I listen to it, it takes me all the way back to 1980 something, 85 or whatever, 86 ish. Yeah. And it's just hearing that for the first time and just going, I had no idea this was happening out in the world. It's very cool.
That's the coolest thing I have
It's
ever
her
seen.
home.
Okay, so I'm going to pick an obscure one.
Oh
boy.
my.
So this album doesn't even have a wiki.
Wow,
Oh, man.
that's obscure.
That's how obscure it
Doesn't
is.
even have a wiki.
I don't even think I know
Mr.
what this
Pittsburgh,
is.
would it be possible for you to
Get you
me
water?
give me a water, please?
Of course.
Can you get me a beverage
Don't talk about me while I'm gone.
Try.
All right, so this is a this is an obscure one. This doesn't even have a wiki at all. I really couldn't find out much about it. All I can tell you is my experience when I heard this album. This is by an artist you probably have never heard of. His name is Fred Eaglesmith.
I don't think I know this.
And excuse me. Fred, oh boy, I don't even know how to describe what he does, but let's put it this way. If you are a person that likes, you're a rocker, but you're like, yeah, I'll listen to some Johnny Cash. Mm-hmm. There's a couple Waylon and Willie things I like.
I would do that.
If you're that kind of person, you'd be like willing to you should give Fred a try. Because now Fred has a very long career and he's done a lot of different things, but this record and the one before it and the one after it are a kind of trilogy of this certain era that he did with these certain groups of music, with a certain group of musicians. But this record, I was turned on to it through WYEP here in Pittsburgh, which is an independent radio station. And Ira Glass? Not Ira Glass. A World Cafe.
Okay.
It was World
Yep,
Cafe,
yep.
and I was driving to rehearsal in Indiana from Youngwood, I believe. And as I was getting, Greensburg is already pretty far from Pittsburgh, so YEP was a little iffy.
Yeah.
But as I was getting to 22 up there, or rather to 119 to get getting off of 22 going to 119, really close to Indiana, it was really starting to lose the signal, But I was listening to this guy, this singer-songwriter, just him with a guitar, and he sang these songs in this amazing voice. And he sang songs like Alcohol and Pills, Time to Get a Gun,
Wow.
Pontiac. And these songs were like lyrically, like as a songwriter, like I love lyrics. Lyrics are always been like one of my favorite things, and this played a big part on all of my favorite records. But I could tell this guy had really thought, like there's a real thought. Some of these songs have stories, and you don't know their stories until the song kind of gets going. Like, oh, cool, things, the way he reveals the characters, it's like you really kind of get into it. Plus, they're all super catchy and easy to remember. So I had to get his record, and I wanted to get it because specifically the song "Alcohol and Pills." And so I don't. This is where the store. I bought it on CD, so probably some CD store in Greensburg or something like that. But I listened to it on a way to a rehearsal, and just was knocked out by everything on it. The songs are great. I wanted to say drums, but it almost sounds like tin cans, but like really good sounding tin cans.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
well tuned tin cans. Like there's a certain vibe and like dissonance to this record. It's very rough and ready. There's times when he's singing where it sounds like he's whispering in your ear almost. It is the songs are all insanely clever. Like there's just like they're just like all got lyrics that like really grab you and tell a story or do something really clever or something really fun. It's a really good record. Postscript to this, like a year later after I got it, it turns out he was coming to Pittsburgh.
Oh.
And
cool.
I was like, I got to go see him at Rosebud.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this record has like the most unusual guitar sounds, unusual drum sounds. Just like really, I was like really fascinated with it. The sounds on it are really, really cool. And I went to see him live, and there's a reason why the drums sound the way they do. Because yes, he has a guy playing set of traps, but he also has Washboard Pete. And Washboard Pete, everybody in the band
It
had
sounds like a new character for
It does.
had the sang backup very nice, sang harmony with Fred really, really well. But he came out on stage with the giant washboard on, and he had a hat that had bells and stuff on it. He had different things on his arms and his legs, and it was all like mic'd up.
Yeah.
I'm immediately turned on by this.
And so a lot of that stuff that I thought was like tin cans and the drummer doing stuff. No. It was this Washboard Pete playing along with the drummer to create this really abrasive, percussive kind of thing, and multi-rhythmic thing. There's a lot of neat rhythmic things that they did. So for like a country band with the pedal steel and all and banjo and all this, like there's this thing going on. Okay. So yes, they had a younger guy that played a Telecaster, and then he would play pedal steel as well. He switched off on both. But the reason the guitars sound the way they do on this record and are so crazy and so weird is because it's not guitar. All this lead guitar stuff that I thought was the young kid who was playing the Telecaster, I'm like he's gonna play all the solos. No. This was a guy named Willie P. Bennett. Willie P. Bennett plays electric mandolin.
Oh, wow.
And I remember wondering why when I walked up to the stage. When you go to a concert, you walk up and see their gear and everything, and they hadn't come out yet. And I didn't know what the band was going to be or how what is on what it was going to be. I saw this Princeton Reverb sitting there and some pedals and stuff, and I was I thought that was the guitar. No, this was Willie Bennett's rig, and he played it on 10, like that. He had just fucking cranked. Wow. And with this electric mandolin and volume pedal, and he had like some echo and stuff like that. He did some very, very cool stuff. He sounded sound like a really unusual rock guitar type sound. And so after you're all blown away by that, he puts a fucking slide on his finger and he plays fucking electric slide mandolin. And it's sick as shit. Wow. And they were so good. And Fred's funny. He's a kind of a comedian, and so he's really good. And this is the first time I ever heard a band tell this joke. The Washboard Pete did this, like Fred was getting a drink or something. He says, I just want to let everybody know we just got this great deal through Columbia Records. And everybody's clapping. Yes, finally, Fred's going to go big. Yeah, we're all excited. Because we said, well, wait a minute. We don't have the whole deal worked out yet. But we do know that we get the first 10 albums for a penny. And everybody laughed.
That is great.
So it was the first. That turns out that's an old joke. Like a lot of bands tell that joke on stage, but that was the first time I had ever heard a band tell that joke. But yeah, so Lipstick. The album is called "Lipstick, Lies, and Gasoline" by Fred Eaglesmith. The production, the lyrics, the vocals, the overall performance, the sounds are really unusual. Don't let the C word turn you off. Give it a try.
Okay.
Lipstick, Lies.
I'm
and
not
Gasoline.
afraid. I would listen to it.
Yes. Yes.
I like the name alone.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that's getting one more.
Yeah,
I got
Lily.
one more.
Just
about
one
me.
more album.
It's cool. You forgot about me.
No, I didn't.
We went out of order.
So it confused your whole brain.
It did. My whole brain is confused.
So my last pick for the evening is Appetite for Destruction. Guns N' Roses, released in 1987.
Never heard of it.
I know. It's their debut album. Whenever it first came out, nobody cared. It hardly got any attention in 1987. It took a year for it to take off, but then it became like one of the best-selling debut albums of all time and like number 7 best-selling records of all time. This is what Lou likes to call all killer and no filler, because it truly is. And the reason I even heard this, and I was 5 when it came out, and I probably heard it a couple of years later. My cousin Josie, who was my musical idol as a child, I wanted to be her. I feel like
Was
I'm
she in
her
the
now.
Pussycats?
I was waiting.
No, she wasn't.
Knew it was coming.
Josie is a friend.
She constantly was listening to this album, and I just remember thinking, this is damn cool music. Well, I didn't say damn as a child. I said, this is darn cool music.
Yeah.
That says darn tootin' good.
Like, literally, I wanted to be just like her, and like, this is why I listen to 80s hair metal. This is why I listen to the music I listen
Thank
to.
you, Josie.
Yes, she unfortunately did pass away a few years ago, so I feel like every time I hear this album,
Sorry,
you're such a dick.
No, Lou.
Every time I hear
Bad
this
Lou.
album, it keeps her and I close. You're such
Bad
a jerk.
Lou. Bad.
But this is one you could definitely put in and
You know,
listen to.
there was
It's
the devil coming up my shoulder and said,
legit.
You should make a sound effect when she says that. And the angel said, don't do it. It was like that split of a second.
It's going to be
devil
funny when I
slapped the
stab
shit
you
out
and that devil.
Oh,
But this is
That-
one you can listen to all the way through.
It's a great album.
It's fantastic, and I do, and it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll all the way. The whole way.
Yeah, it's a great album. It's the only, it has the most cowbell
Yes,
of any album.
it has that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, what can you say about those guys? So that is our little talk there on that. Lily mentioned, Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, and I know that there has been this thing lately over the past few years with singers. Not people complaining that they can't sing and they should stop singing or whatever, because there are some YouTube videos. But I'm gonna tell you this thing, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
If we had YouTube in the 70s,
Oh, yeah.
and the 80s, you'd hear all kind of shit.
Oh,
So
no doubt.
live. So so just chill the fuck out.
Simmer down.
And
People have off days.
yeah,
Calm down.
people have off days. And I was, people were like telling me all this time, like, Axl, his voice is shy, he sucks, blah blah blah. And one night I found it's how YouTube will play you the next thing and the next
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah.
a Guns N' Roses concert came on, and it was actually one that a fan did with their cell phone, but it was. The guy must have had it on a tripod or something, because it didn't
'Cause it
move
was
around
steady.
a lot,
Yeah,
and
okay.
the
He wasn't
audio
drunk, was he?
was good.
Yeah.
The audio was pretty good, and or maybe that too. Maybe he was just being super conscious, but and the audio was good, and Axl sounded just like Axl.
Yeah.
It was a freaking cell phone voice. It wasn't like, you know what I mean, something that
Right.
was doctored up or
Yeah.
something like that. It was like he just sounded like Axl. So, it's a crapshoot.
They all have off nights.
They all have often, and singing is a motherfucker. It really is. Now, the only thing I take is so the reason I'm bringing this up, because there's a Bon Jovi, the latest one is there's a Bon Jovi thing out right now with him sounding bad, and somebody said, in the YouTube videos, like, you can't make any comments about his voice. It was a great show, and I'm thinking, my comment was, listen, if his voice was shot, it wasn't a great show. It's a music concert. Like, if the guitar player gets up and plays all the wrong chords, it's not a great show.
Right.
It's not going to be a great
Maybe
show.
next time.
Maybe next time. That doesn't mean we're being unsympathetic or whatever, but we've got to still call reality.
Right.
But it's rude. This it's very hard on your voice, and the touring schedules and stuff that they're trying to get these guys to keep up with. Especially as you get older, you have less energy and stuff like that. You got to be. That has to be accommodated for you. They can't just whip the shit out of you to tour. You have to they should be doing like half of what they were doing. You have a few days in between to recover.
Right.
You'd probably hear a lot more great singing than you do right now from some of our classic artists. I don't want to don't give them too rough of a jab, but for that, I mean, you can pick on them for other shit. They're all moron assholes, but Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of hit that real quick. Hit
I
it,
wanna
quit
hit
it.
that real quick.
Want to hit that. So Lily, what is your pick for new and notable this week?
My pick is Kat Von D. We know her as the tattoo artist. I'm not saying it. You be quiet. We know her as the tattoo artist who had Miami Ink, LA Ink. We know her for dating Nikki Sixx. We know her for makeup line and her books and her clothing line and all this other fun stuff that she does. But her heart is actually in music. She was doing vocals to the songs for different other... before she has her own stuff now, but before that she was doing like vocals on songs for the band X, 69 Eyes. Dave Grohl even had her do some lyrics. She sang on the song Black Leather by Prayers, but now she has her own album released in 2021 called Love Made Me Do It. It's kind of like gothy, little 80s new wave. It sounds sort of like Depeche Mode-ish, which I like. There's 12 tracks on the album. Exorcism is the debut single. It's
Kind of like a Concrete Blonde thing, maybe?
yeah.
Okay.
I would call it that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Because the song is it's a good single. It's built on strong electronic up-tempo beats. It has a killer vocal hook. It's got a mood twist. It stands out. She will be touring this summer. She missed her tour over the winter because of personal reasons. But hopefully she does come to Pittsburgh on her tour, because when I interviewed her, she said that she had an amazing stage show along with the music, and it includes a contortionist. And I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
So check out the album. It is great.
Sounds kinky.
Very cool.
Okay, good one. Mine, I'm going to be real quick, is a band called Coheed and Cambria. They're not a new band by any stretch of the imagination, but they did put out a record in 2021, and the first single is one I want to talk about. They've got a new one called Liars Club, which is very good as well. But the one I want to talk about is Shoulders. If you, their frontman, Claudio, I think that is his name. Let me get back to. I took Wikipedia off the screen.
Why did you do that?
Writes a science fiction series. Okay, and all their albums are like concept albums based on different books out of this science fiction series
okay.
that they write. And nobody in the band is named Coheed or Cambria. Those are the main characters in this series.
Claudio Sanchez.
Claudio Sanchez. See, and
I do like this band too.
yeah, and so the song Shoulders. If you guys that like old rock and roll, like you like the classic rock, 80s rock, etc., stuff like that, I think that these guys have roots in there. Claudio has said that he wishes he would have grown up during his dad's era, because his favorite bands are Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Thin Lizzy, the Police. He loves stuff like that, and you can hear that in their stuff. Although it isn't like a Greta Van Fleet thing where it's like really overt. It's just kind of like they've kind of put that into the soup of what they do, and they have they definitely have their own sound. Speaking of own sound, they're difficult to categorize. A lot of people put them under progressive rock, but it's hard to say. And the songs they have out right now that are on the radio aren't what I would call progressive rock songs per se. Unless, not really. I wouldn't say that. But you should.
Let's just call them rock.
It's good stuff. Well played, interesting stuff, like kind of like a cut above like a lot of the other more standard type sounding stuff. You can tell these guys have their roots in good rock. So check out Coheed and Cambria's Shoulders is the song. So lyrics with Loudini. Since I talked about the Police, and I'm going to do this a little bit different because we are like just
way over.
Well, we don't have too much more to do. You're not getting tired, are you, Lily?
When am I ever tired?
Never.
When am I drunk? Always. When am I tired?
Yeah.
Never.
No.
Gotcha. There's a difference. So this Can't Stand Losing You. This was the second single after Roxanne off of the Outlandish D'Amour album by the Police. Even Roxanne, when it was initially released, was not hit. Miles Copeland, their manager, came in to hear them play in the studio, and he thought they sounded like shit, but
Thanks, buddy.
he did like Roxanne, so he convinced the record label to give them a little bit more money, and can we put the song out? And it wasn't a hit at first.
Really?
Yeah. It became a hit later on after the album came out. It's an interesting story. But the other single was "Can't Stand Losing You," and it has really fun lyrics. And I just remember listening to this as a kid and really kind of chuckling at the lyrics, and how nerdy kids like me, who didn't get a lot of girlfriends and stuff like that.
No, not you.
Might kind of experience. The word. It's kind of done from that perspective.
Okay.
I've called you so many times today. I guess it's all true what your girlfriends say, that you don't ever want to see me again, and your brother's going to kill me and he's 6'10".
I love it.
That's beautiful.
I guess you'd call it cowardice, but I'm not prepared to go on like this. I can't stand losing. I can't stand losing. I can't stand losing you. I won't sing. I see you've sent my letters back and my LP records, and they are scratched. I can't see the point in another day when nobody listens to a word I say. You can call it lack of confidence, but to carry on living doesn't make no sense, Ma. I can't stand losing. I can't stand losing. And then there's this very
God, he sounds so whiny.
crazy thing that happens. There's a giant breakdown with these crazy chord changes and like a total what the fuck. And then the third verse comes in.
Okay.
I guess this is our last goodbye.
Thank
And you don't care, so I won't cry. But you'll be sorry when I'm dead, and all this guilt will be on your head.
Wow.
I guess you'd call it suicide, but I'm too full to swallow my pride. I can't stand losing, can't stand losing you.
Wow.
So it's like this, like, over the top, melodramatic, you know what I mean? Whiny teenager, you know, jilted.
Teenager, please.
You'll
I
be
have guys
sorry.
like that now who are like in their 40s doing this.
40-ager.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this day,
It's time to see what the Beatles did today.
what the Beatles did today. Oh, the
There
first
it is.
one is Paul McCartney.
The first
There you go.
First two, first 17.
First 17.
The whole record, I mean, the whole website is the Beatles. It's not. It is not. It is not.
No.
So, but on this day in 1963, after a Beatles performance at the Royal Albert Hall in London for the radio show Swingin' Sound 63, Paul McCartney met the actress Jane Asher for the first time.
Oh.
Later, they became engaged, but never married and split up in 1968.
Sound like you're going
Relationship
on a big game
inspired
hunt.
Beatles songs, including All Me Lovin'. I'm Looking Through You. This is really like shame on you. Thisdayinmusic.com.
Really?
This is really gossip column.
Yeah.
Like,
Legit. Today.
like it's come on, it's not pertinent
We want
to anything.
facts. Cold hard facts.
We're not giving you the next Beatles thing because you,
fuck
Because it's dumb.
we got screwed. You know, fool me once, right?
Yep.
George Bush. Did you see our president shake hands with nobody
I
today?
don't want to see my president.
No, I
do it.
have
Yeah,
not seen
yeah.
that.
He turns around. He shook hands with an invisible person. It's totally legit, dude. Like, well, you obviously say, look at it. When you get a chance, you know, we should look at it. You can look at it on YouTube.
I want to be what he's on.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
He's
It's
like,
Inviso
he's
Man.
out there,
It's
yeah.
our new superhero.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll see.
This-
Well,
on this
actually,
day in
you won't.
1966, the Spencer Davis Group were at #1 the UK singles chart with their version of the Jackie Edwards song "Somebody Help Me." As their previous hit "Keep On Running," which was also composed by Edwards. This day in 1970, Steel Mill featuring Bruce Springsteen played in the main gym at the Ocean County College in New Jersey. Wow. So this is Springsteen's first band, and
Yes,
the tickets cost $2.
That's kind of cool,
Wow.
though. To say that you went to that would be very cool.
On this day in 1970, Johnny Cash was at #1 on the country album chart with Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. His 33rd album release. The album featured If I Were a Carpenter, the famous duet with his wife, June Carter Cash, which earned the couple a Grammy Award for Best Country Performance by a Duo or a Group with a Vocal in 1971. What? What are you talking about?
I love 1975 there.
This day in 1975.
I don't love what happened, but I love that band.
The Bay City Rollers, 4 Bay City Rollers fans were taken to the hospital, and 35 others required on-site treatment after they attempted to swim across the lake to meet their heroes.
Yeah.
The group were making an appearance at the BBC Radio 1 Fun Day at Mallory Park.
It wasn't a fun day at all.
No, but I do love that band.
All right. You know.
I have a belt buckle that says Bay City Rollers.
Do you really?
I do.
That was a thing, and it seemed to roll off. I don't know if like promoters like figured out something, but the whole people getting like trampled and injured at
Yeah.
concerts kind
Who- yeah.
of you don't really, you know what I mean? It kind of like went away.
Sound disappointed.
You know, it was a better time. Rock and roll is supposed to be dangerous, man. You taking your life in your hands. That's how it used to be.
It's more Altamont than for you.
Go Altamont. Michael Jackson underwent surgery in Los Angeles. Okay, to prepare what? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
This is when he
kind of
caught
relevant.
fire.
That's
This day in
relevant.
1984, caught on fire, and this is when he went to surgery to like. This is when probably all the trouble started with his face.
Pepsi.
Yep. It's the choice of a new generation. Wham!
I'd rather have a Coke and a smile, but go ahead.
Became the first ever Western pop act to have an album released in China.
Oh, that's fun.
In China.
In China.
In China?
In China.
In China.
Oh, released in China.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
God. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
that's so wrong. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Wow, we are like
So
canceled.
wrong.
Fired.
Urethra Franklin and George Michael. And George Michael. Speaking of Wham in China. China Wham.
Wow. Urethra.
LaChoy makes China Wham.
Wow.
American. Showing her age now.
Urethra Franklin and George Michael
You know that's not her name, right?
started a 2-week run. I hate when my urethra starts a 2-week run.
Me too.
Yeah, fuck your urethra.
Oh my.
19. I don't want to hear about that either. 1992, Def Leppard started a 5-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album chart with their 5th studio album, Adrenalize. The album was the first by the band following the death of guitarist Steve Clark in 1991.
That was one of the top albums in the 90s.
Come on, Steve, get it.
Okay, and
Bloody-bloody-blah.
yeah, blah 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 blah. That's a Monty Python thing, isn't it?
Oh, there we go.
Mike Vickers.
Yeah.
Is he like a vicar?
Right.
Like an Irish vicar.
Sure.
Mike Vickers.
Uh-huh.
Never vicar with a vicar.
Never. Right, exactly.
British musician who came to prominence as a guitarist, flautist, and saxophonist
Oh, there you go.
with Manfred Mann.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1 single is Do What Diddy.
Do a dee. That's probably not that.
That's not the right song.
No.
Not at all, because it's not the right year.
No.
American drummer Clyde Stubenfield, best known for his work with James Brown. We haven't done the things James Brown says in a long
Oh,
time.
we
Oh,
haven't done
boy.
that in years, literally.
His rhythm pattern on James Brown's funky drummer is among the world's most sampled musical segments and has been used by hip-hop groups and rappers such as Public Enemy, Run DMC, NWA, WMA, WMMA.
WMA, Weapons of Mass
Run
Destruction?
DMC, NWA.
Oh,
I don't know that word. LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, and Prince.
thank you. Thank you, Lily.
It's really famous. Like if you hear it, you go, "Oh, that's what that is." Yeah, it's very famous. It's on tons of shit. Yeah. So there's really nothing.
Nobody important.
Mark
Ish.
Tremonti
Oh,
with
yes.
That's important.
what's the other?
Ish.
What's the other band? Alter Bridge.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
that's what he's more currently known for.
Yeah, yes.
You know.
Wow.
So and Creed, that was his original band.
Creed Bratton?
Creed.
Credence, Clearwater. I hate you.
Creedence Clearwater
I'm
Creed.
like, when's the
The Grassroots.
When is it going to click in the Lily's brain what I just said?
It took a minute.
Yeah, I know. I waited. I'm like, it'll get there.
I like how they mentioned in The Office the Grassroots.
Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly.
That's
Right?
So there is a Netflix movie everybody must see.
Everybody must see it.
There will be a quiz next week.
Uh-huh.
I'm not studying.
It's called Metal Lords, and you will fucking love it. The kid who has his car, his license plate is Power Slave.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They are very young,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah, they're high school kids who are like,
Yeah.
who get
brain damaged.
who they love metal, and they're just all about the metal, and it's you know, it's their kind of like journey and their friendship, and you kind of to see what happens. But it's got some great music in it, like fucking great. It's got a great soundtrack, and it was in the tradition of Airheads or Bill and Ted, those movies that are like a music comedy kind of thing.
Scotty Ian's in it. Wow.
Yeah.
And Tom Morello and Kirk Hammett.
And Kirk
Oh my
Hammett
God.
and Rob Halford.
Halford.
Actually, yeah. They're actually in a scene all together.
Sold.
Wow.
However, for females who don't like Bill and Ted, please don't listen to Lou. Go watch it for the Airheads element of it.
Yeah.
You haven't even seen it yet.
Doesn't matter. You said Bill and Ted.
That's
and that
the
makes me
same
mad.
kind of movie.
Dead. She no good.
Lots of women don't like Bill and Ted.
Well, Bill
Wow.
and Ted don't like lots of women. They only like the
Okay, so
princesses.
hi, let's take a vote.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a vote. Who here wants to end the podcast now? And who here wants to hear the Ewok theory?
I want to hear the
Oh,
Ewok
Ewok
theory.
theory. Yes, yes.
We're not asking anybody.
We don't care about what they think.
I thought you were. Do we have to wait for them to respond?
I'm not waiting.
Tell me about the Ewok.
It's
theory.
3 people here out of
That's
3
right.
who want to hear it.
Right.
Okay.
Here we go.
So, one of the complaints about the Ewoks is that, like, how can these, like, little creatures, like little teddy bears,
Yeah.
defeat the Empire? I mean, this is a serious military force that's killed a lot of people. This ain't no joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now they're threatening to blow something, do like another Death Star thing. And like, this is a serious situation. So like Ralph McQuarrie, you know who he was? He's the guy that created all the concept art for both the original Star Wars and Empire
Yes,
Strikes Back.
okay.
You can look up his paintings. They're absolutely beautiful. He's just like, some of those you go like, oh, I wish they would have made it look like this instead. But anyways, he quit. He refused to come back for Return of the Jedi because of the Ewoks. He thought it was like absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that are like, oh, the Ewoks, you know what I mean? It kind of ruins the thing. It's too like, little kidsy, and like, Lucas wanted to put something in for little kids about that. That is not what I thought at all when I saw that.
Okay.
Okay. And recently I've been vindicated.
Okay.
Because some other people have written some stuff about this exact theory that I had when I first saw it. And do you remember in Empire Strikes Back when we meet Yoda?
Yes.
Yes.
And Luke shows up there and he's looking for a great warrior, Jedi master, and all this stuff. And he doesn't even enter his mind that it could be Yoda.
Right.
Like he doesn't even enter his mind.
Yeah.
And so the sort of like idea there is like something really powerful can be in something really small. And yes, Lucas got this from Lord of the Rings. He's a giant Lord of the Rings fan. You know what I mean?
sense.
It's the same. That's the kind of the idea of the Hobbits.
Yeah.
That, like sometimes it's the most humble of things that really can make the difference. There's an expression that says, "Little hinges swing big doors," and that's just what I thought he was doing when I saw the Ewoks on the screen. I thought this is the same kind of thing. He's like carrying on this idea that like something that like, because it like there's a in the original Star Wars, remember when they are showing the battle plans, they're showing the computer animation. It's hilarious, by the way. If you watch it now, it's like and one of the guys puts up his hand and says, "What's a little fighter supposed to do against something like that?" And it says the Empire doesn't consider a small one-man fighter a threat, and I think that's a callback.
Parlays into
That I think that the Empire wouldn't consider, so they would underestimate what somebody like that could do. And I don't know if it just doesn't come across real well, but didn't look like they didn't know how to fight. They had figured some shit out. They had logs cut up. They had all kind of stuff to, you know what I mean? Yep. And, I think it also was a sort of like the Empire's kind of arrogant and kind of thinks that like nothing can beat them because they're so big and bad. And sometimes that's when that little shit comes along. And I think that's what he was going for, whether he actually achieved that or not. But that was like my sort of idea about the Ewoks.
I like it.
I like it, yeah. Wasn't a consideration the Wookiees? They were going to be on the Wookiee planet
Yeah.
at one point? Yeah.
Them wacky Wookiees.
Shut up, Lily.
They're so cute.
Come on.
I like the Ewoks.
I know.
I just put it in my Amazon box to get the Ewok movie.
See, there you go.
Oh, dude, nothing beats the holiday special, though.
Uh-huh.
George Lucas
I
really
have it
wants
on
He
VHS.
said that he wants to like get he at one point he was trying to get rid of every copy.
I know.
I have it.
Yeah, a girl.
Found it at Record
I
Archive.
watched it again on YouTube like about a year or so, maybe over the pandemic or something, and I was like, it's kind of very uncomfortable.
mine.
Very kind of disturbing.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, like,
It's
wow.
like
It
what?
was $5 at Record Archive. I could pass it.
Was
The holiday VHS.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com is our website. Go check it out. There's all kind of cool stuff there, bios, our YouTube archive, as well as opportunity to get access to our private Facebook group and all kind of fun stuff. So check it out there, LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com, WolvesCustoms.online. Get yourself a custom paint job done on your musical instrument. RockRageRadio.com. Download the app. It's totally for free, and you can listen to great music content just like this 24/7. Miss Lily Von 6.
You can also listen to my show, which is Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Hot Licks with Lily 6. I do 80% unsigned bands, 20% mainstream bands, and I do a lot of interviews like Udo Dirkschneider, who's going to be on this Thursday from Accept formerly and does his own
Udo
stuff now.
Dirkschneider.
Yes, and that's how he talks. He was very jolly.
That's cool.
He's a jolly German. He's a
Jolly German. They're the best kind, aren't they?
He was
He's a
very
jolly
fun.
jolly little German.
I unfortunately lost the video, but I
He's
saw
a
the
jolly
audio.
little German.
There we go.
He's a jolly little germ.
He's gonna kill you guys. It's great.
No, he's not. He likes it. He's
A
jolly.
real live mustache from his uncle Adolf.
What? That's not how that goes.
I'm
That's not
out.
how any of this goes.
So anyway, that I don't know what else to say about it.
That's all you got.
That's all.
That's all she wrote.
That's all there is, and ain't no more.
she
I'm
wrote,
sorry,
folks.
guys.
Boom goes the dynamite.
We
Woof.
did the whole thing, and we did
The whole
it.
shebang.
Yep.
Not half of it. The whole shebang.
Shaboom, shaboom, shebang, shebang. Actually, it wasn't as loud. It wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be. It's
Only an hour
a
and a
buck
half.
25.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah,
$1.25,
it's not
that's
too
not
bad.
bad.
It's not bad. You know. So.
Considering the price, well worth it.
Well, time well spent. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and we will catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Take care, guys.
Head for this man.